Continue.
I wish I could speak for him on this as well, but he's going to have his chance to speak. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just underscore this. Let's go over it and over it and over it again. If you don't like the language of this bill, if you don't like the definition of Commonwealth in this bill, guess what? You don't like Commonwealth. If you find that the language that we use to describe Commonwealth is repugnant...
The gentleman will suspend. The chair will admonish those in the gallery, remind all persons that they are here as guests of the House, and that any manifestation of approval or disapproval of any of the proceedings is a violation of the rules of the House and will not be permitted.
Thank you, Mr.
The gentleman
Speaker.
will continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The fact is, if everyone's so insulted by this process, I hear my colleague Nydia Velasquez and Luis Gutierrez says, I don't like this process because they shut out a political party in Puerto Rico. Let's understand what they're shutting out, although it's not the case, and I'll argue. But let's just assume that we're shutting out the PDP, the Populares in Puerto Rico. What do they want? They want the Commonwealth status. What is the Commonwealth status? It's colonial status. It's saying that this Congress can decide unilaterally, without Puerto Rico's opinion or approval, what we want Puerto Rico to do. End of story, Mr. Solomon. End of story. So when you talk about how we're being unfair, think about it. We're being unfair because we don't like Commonwealth. You bet I don't like Commonwealth. I don't like the fact that 3.8 million people are disenfranchised. 3.8 million United States citizens who fight in our wars, who died in our wars, are not even allowed to vote for their commander-in-chief. Can you imagine? This country was founded. We said the Boston Tea Party declared our Revolutionary War because we didn't have representation here, okay? That's what they don't have. Puerto Ricans cannot decide this bill. Carlos Romero Barceló has no vote, and he represents 3.8 million United States citizens. This is a bill that affects them, and they have no vote. Now, what is that other than colonialism? Now, this bill will give them statehood if they vote for it. And let's say they don't want to vote for statehood now. They still like this quasi-colonial status. Well, guess what? We give them an opportunity because in the final analysis, it has to be the United States. I think it's so insulting that I have to be up here deciding on something that the people of Puerto Rico should be able to decide with or without my approval, with or without Chairman Solomon's approval, with or without Don Young's approval. We represent other states. Why should we have any say in the matter with respect to Puerto Rico? We weren't elected by the Puerto Ricans. They deserve their own representation, and if we vote for this bill, they'll get their own representation. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Solomon, is